Welcome. I've been really busy this past few days because I had this idea that before I turned a year older this month, I wanted to detox my physical space. I felt that I've accumulated a lot of things that aren't really necessary to me anymore, or things that doesn't serve me any purpose. I found this very famous method by Marie Kondo called KonMari. But the thing is, I haven't really watched any of her series, nor have I read her book. Therefore, I didn't know what to expect or how the process will be like. So I just had to rely on some of the informations I got from the internet. The question is, what is KonMari? KonMari is a decluttering method that focuses around the idea of keeping what sparks joy in your life and letting go of what doesn't. Instead of choosing things that you would like to get rid of, you are first choosing things that you would like to keep. So the first rule is tidy by category, not by location. And that's because we tend to have similar items placed all over our house. So by doing this, allows us to grasp the overall numbers of similar items that we own. The categories are clothes, books, papers, kimono, which are miscellaneous items, and sentimental items. The order does matter because you're supposed to start with the most materialistic items that you have, which are easier to part with, and then slowly make your way down to the sentimental items, which could be the hardest to part with. To be honest, I didn't really strictly follow these instructions, so I suggest that before you begin, you can sit down and list down all categories of things that you need to organize, whatever is easier for you. So for me, for example, I added beauty category for my skincare and makeup. For this video, I'm only focusing on the clothes category because that's the only category I managed to document. Although I finished everything else, but I was too exhausted to even take a video of them, but I did it. Step 1. Gather everything. Take all of your clothes out from the cabinet or even the ones in your laundry bag. Basically every single clothes that you own. By doing this, it allows you to visualize the total amount of items that you have. I always knew that I have a lot of clothes, but I didn't know that it was that much until I piled them all up together. And then I realized that I don't need that much clothes, especially for someone who doesn't really go out much. I felt the need to get rid of a lot of them. For step 2, break them into different subcategories. I suggest that you do this step while doing the first step. You can already place them into different sections by laying them all out, so it's easier for you to go through them later on. Now for the third step, you will need to hold each item in your hand, both hands, feel them, or even smell them if you need to, and ask yourself, does this spark joy? You might think it sounds so easy, but I find it really difficult at first because I didn't feel anything and I was afraid that I might have to let go most of my clothes, and that was not my goal. The definition of joy may not be the same for everyone. If you feel lost like I did, you can look for other kinds of emotions such as comfort or excitement if you feel excited to wear that item or to use that item. I think that is enough. It's pretty subjective, you just have to find your own definition of joy. Step 4. Keep or discard. Basically, keep everything that sparks joy in you and discard all items that you aren't really vibing with. I also did a maybe pile to make the decision process faster, and then I just went back to it and try every single one of them to make that decision whether would I still keep it or would I let it go. Now I did a second run through of my keep pile simply because I wanted to check if I have multiple similar clothes. Like for example, I don't see the point of keeping 10 sets of dresses when I hate wearing dresses or I rarely wear them. So yeah, that's the point of doing a second run through of my keep pile, and also to make sure that they still spark joy. Step 5. Thank the items. Thank the items for serving its purpose or for all the times that you had with it. I know it sounds so awkward, but I believe that this step really did help me to let go of that attachment that I had with some of them, and I think this might also help you to not regret anything. Step 6. Clean the items. Now this step is optional, so if you feel like you've done this process in a clean environment, I think it's fine even if you skip this step. So I decided to clean them, and I was so ambitious to finish everything within a day. just a story time. I literally had to go back and forth between my house and the laundry shop because like we have a small ass washing machine, so I can't possibly do everything by just using that. And I had to carry this 2 huge ass IKEA bags that were almost as big as me. And they were so heavy, I felt like my back was gonna break anytime soon. Just a tip, just make sure that you check each pocket before washing them, because I had to learn this the hard way and I forgot a tinted lip balm in one of the pockets. I realized that it stained some of my clothes, most of my wipes. Some of them were my favorite pieces. I wanted to cry, but I ain't got no time for that shit. I chose this struggle. I couldn't do anything about it. I just had to suck it up and find ways to save those clothes. So yeah, that was fun, but I would never do that shit again. I'm just sharing my experience. It's tough too. For the last step, which is storing them, I'm not gonna go into details for this step because I'm still in the process of learning them, and I stick to how I usually do it. After all of that, the point of doing this major decluttering is to never revert to your old habits of accumulating unnecessary things. Just need to keep in mind that this process is rigorous and it requires a lot of time, effort, and commitment. It can be very overwhelming. That's why I think that it's okay to make small changes, whatever works best for you, as long as by the end of it, when you look around you, you are surrounded by things that makes you feel better because they spark joy in you. You just have to maintain it and make sure that everything or anything that you put into your personal space serves you a purpose. As exhausting as it may sound, I personally do recommend this to everyone because it's all worth it in the end. So that's about it for this video. Thank you. Oh, hi, welcome. That was disgusting. Welcome. Fuck. Ew. How do I do this shit?